my goodness. I did not expect all that. We talk so much about the culture, and that was culture. That was culture, y'all. And I'm gonna tell you, so I wasn't even gonna start with this story, but my boy Bryson was right out in front, rocking the big MAGA hat, right? And we talk about these white liberals trying to tell us who we are. And this guy walked inside and he just said, ugh, embarrassing. And just walked by. And at first I wanted to read him, but I said, no, we're not doing that here. I'm not reading here. I'm gonna read those Democrats, but I'm not gonna read people up in the hallway. But look, the culture is what it's all about. And when somebody is looking down on you, and when somebody is saying that's embarrassing, or when somebody is saying that's whatever, that's when you know you're affecting the culture. So give it here. Give it up for that man for bringing it up for the culture. He even got your boy to spit a MAGA challenge. I ain't rapped a bar in my life. And y'all all saw it. I ain't rapped a bar in my life, but I felt it and I wrote it. And that is what's going on in the culture. So let me ask you something. I'm going to say a couple of words. I'm going to say Uncle Tom. I'm going to say coon. I'm going to say bootlicker. I'm going to say house.
That's right.
Who in this room has been called those names before?
2 hands up.
Right? 2 hands up right here. Same here. And I realized very recently that when you have people in our community calling us Uncle Tom, coon, bootlicker, whatever, they are the same ones that are trying to hold us down. That said, remember when they used to say, oh, acting white? Was like, oh, you act white. Oh, you talk white. Oh, you do this because you want to learn, because you want to achieve, because you want to better yourself. You know what? They said all of that stuff about me when I was in high school, and now they ask me what it's like to be on TV, baby. All right? So let me tell you something. Don't ever let somebody's words stop you from thinking what you want to think, believing what you want to believe, and achieving what you want to believe, achieving what you want to achieve. And let me tell you something, and I don't usually address a lot of the haters, and I don't usually address a lot of that stuff, but there's a lot of division going on right now, and a lot of people try to come for me online, and they try to say, oh, Rob, he's Dominican, or he's, Caribbean, or he's Nigerian, or he's something, and I got nothing but love for all of my black immigrant brothers and sisters in here, right? Right? I'm gonna preface it with that, but I have been lucky and blessed enough to have been born black American right here in the USA. And I say blessed because I am blessed enough to live in a place where I can achieve, to live in a place that is limitless into what I can do with my life. And let me tell you a little bit of something about my background, because I really want to get into this, and I really want to let you know that your boy is not coming from a private school, and your boy is not coming from a trust fund, and your boy is not coming from some family money. I am a first-generation college student. I'm the first person in my family to get a bachelor's degree, let alone a master's degree, but it's not even about that. I'm from Ohio, Akron, Ohio. I always rep Akron, Ohio, and I met a young lady that's running for office in my district, and we're gonna work together, baby. We're gonna work together. We're gonna work. We're gonna work. We're gonna work. Because when I say I went to Buchtel High School, she knows exactly what I'm talking about. The high school that I went to is one of the most failing high schools in Ohio. They are rated an F by the Department of Education, the state authority in Ohio. So I'm gonna tell you where I came from, and I'm gonna tell you what I know. So when I was in elementary school, my mother tells me this story all the time. She said, when I went to that kindergarten and I saw you sitting down and all of those kids were running around like crazy, she said, oh no, she yanked me right out of there and she took me to a school across town. And that's where I got my elementary school education. But I came back to where I was living, and I went to middle school and high school. So I know what it is like to go to a failing school. I know what it is like to go to a school that's not teaching kids anything. I know what it is like to sit next to classmates who graduated barely knowing how to freaking spell their names, let alone geography, let alone world history. I am still embarrassed to this day of some things that I don't know about our history. So I take the time to try to educate myself, throughout every realm that I possibly can. Because if you went to a messed up failing school like I did, you realize that there's so many resources out here to educate yourself. And I was talking with Charlie Kirk, with our amazing founder, and I was talking with him last week in Phoenix. And he said, you know, Rob, the Republicans would win the black vote with 5 words. You know what those 5 words are? They are school choice for black kids. Because school choice empowers parents to make the decision about where they want their kids to go, and it doesn't empower failing teachers. It doesn't continue to push more money into failing schools, to continue to pay more failing teachers, to continue to not educate our African American youth. Period. 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 So that is really important. So I went to a failing school, and when I'm giving you this message, I want you to realize where I came from, because it ain't a silver spoon and it ain't a trust fund, and that's the last time I'm ever going to address that. Now, I went to the military right out of high school. I served in the United States Army for 5 years. It is one of the biggest blessings of my life to have been able to serve this great nation. But I'm not gonna lie and I'm not gonna be phony and tell you that at 17 years old, having barely graduated high school, that I was just so full of love for America and everything else, and I knew how great this country was, and I knew how much opportunity there was, that I decided to join the military. I decided to join the military because when you go back to my hometown right now, and I don't want to talk bad about my hometown, there are great people there, my family still lives there, I will be there next weekend, but you have a lot of kids and a lot of young men out there that do not have options. And when they do not have options, and when they do not have anywhere to go, and when they do not have an opportunity to do work, to do real fulfilling work that fulfills their pockets and their heart and their souls, they turn to the streets and they turn to drugs. And I realize that because I know that because I see it every time I go back to Akron, Ohio. So I knew that that couldn't be the path for me. So I decided to join the military. Joined the military at 17 years old, barely out of high school. Now, if you follow me on Instagram at Rob Smith Online, you will know that I have made no secret about the fact that I used to be heavy. And when I went in the military, I was heavy, all right? I could not do anything. I couldn't make the road marches. I couldn't do anything physically. And what happened was we were going on these runs and we were going on these road marches, and I kept on falling out. I kept on falling behind in the runs. I couldn't make it. I was too heavy. I was too sweaty. I couldn't move. I puked all over my drill sergeants. It was just not a good look. All right, just not a good look. That person is not the person that you see before you here right now. But what I learned through keeping on failing is that you gotta get knocked down 9 times and get up 10, and that's what I did. It is what I had to do because there was literally no other choice. And for everybody in this room, there is no other choice but to believe that you can win, but to believe that you have what it takes in you to win. And my drill sergeant gave me a choice, and this is a true story. Big, mean dudes, white, Southern, quote unquote, just big, mean guys. And I'm the only black kid in the platoon, and I stick out like a sore thumb. But these guys motivated me, and they gave me a choice. They said, either you go home right now, or you get it together and start making these runs and start pulling something out and start making a difference here. And I looked one of these drill sergeants in his eye and I said, I don't have anywhere else to go because I can't go back to Akron, Ohio because there's nothing for me there. And if I go back there, I'm going to end up like the same people that I was trying to get away from. Right? So he gave me that choice. I made the choice to continue on. And I kept getting knocked down, but you know what? I started getting knocked down less. and I started making the runs more for longer. And I wasn't making them all the way till the end, but I started making them for a little bit longer, and then longer and longer and longer until I made those runs. And I was passing people on the runs and passing people on the road marches and graduating and getting that infantry blue cord from the United States Army, right? And what that taught me is that I'm not here to tell you that you're not going to go through struggle. I'm not going to tell you that your life is not going to be hard. I'm not going to tell you that everything is going to be free and easy, but that struggle is what helps you learn how to fight for something. And every single person in this room is fighting for something. What you are fighting for is not me, not even to the people to your left or your right, but you are fighting for every single person that is coming up after you so that they don't have to deal with being called a coon or a bootlicker or whatever, so that they can realize that it's okay to be a free thinker. And you know what? You all know how I stand. You all know how I feel about this president. You all know how I'm a Republican. But you have to realize that it's not even about necessarily being a Republican. It's just that you don't have to be a Democrat, right? You don't have to be a Democrat. You don't have to think a certain way. And the service that I had in the military, what it taught me was a love of country. What it taught me was a love for America. And there are so many people out there, and man, I get some S. I wanted to say something else, but you know, this is a PG-13 show for the kids. I get some stuff, and let me tell you something. People cannot understand how people that look like most of the people in this room can love this country. People cannot understand, nor do they even want to comprehend why somebody that looks like me and loves like me and whatever could love this country. But what I told them is that when I served in the United States military, I saw the best of what this country is. I saw the best of what this country can be. And all of the people that the media tries to demonize as racist, as Trump supporters are this, or Republicans are that, or conservatives are this, I just did not believe it, because this doesn't sound like the white guys that I served next to. This doesn't sound like those people. And I know that those people were conservative, and I wasn't even conservative back then, but I knew that this doesn't sound like those people. So I started to realize that something was wrong with this messaging that I was getting. And what I also realized is that the people who make a lot of money lecturing white people about white privilege and talking about how awful America is and talking about how much it oppresses black people and talking about how much this president oppresses black people, they sure do seem to love our United States of America capitalist system, don't they? Because they cash those checks. They cash those checks. And you know, I heard a crazy story about somebody that makes upwards of $100,000 a month talking to like a black person talking to white people about like white privilege and white supremacy or something like that. And you know what, y'all got me going, because there's another thing that they say about us is that they always say, these mainstream black conservatives right now, oh, Candace Owens, she's a grifter. Oh, Rob Smith is a grifter. Oh, David Harris Jr. is a grifter. Oh, King Face is a grifter. Oh, Isaiah Washington is a grifter. Oh, all these people are grifters. No, the biggest grift going on is blacks on the left keeping on selling that stuff to our people. That's the biggest grift in the world. If there is a bigger grift than that, let me know, because I'm telling you, they're making more money than all of us, right? So ask yourself, when you're getting these messages from these people, what it's really all about. At 19 years old, I deployed to Iraq. And for most of us, we don't really think about life and death every day. It's not something that we think about, even though we all know in the back of our minds that we can go at any time. But when I served in Iraq and when I was early in the deployment, I had to think about life and death more than any 19-year-old really should. And I remember the night before we had our first kind of like attack. So we were stationed in a place called Samara, which was in Iraq, because we did a convoy up close to the beginning of the invasion. So we did that convoy up, and I was talking with a friend of mine at the time, basically one of my closest friends in the military. And I remember pulling guard that night before we were supposed to go out, and I remember asking him, are we gonna die tomorrow? Because I didn't know if that was gonna be my last day on this earth. I really did not. The attack was fine. We did what we had to do. Nobody got hurt, nobody got injured. But I did see combat in Iraq. I did have people firing at me. And let me tell you something, when you have dodged bullets more than once and you have seen your life flash before your eyes more than once, you start thinking about how you want to use the life that God has given you. And that is what pushes me to use my voice. And that is the message that I want to give to all of you, to think about what you want to do on this earth, what you want to do in this world, because every single person in here has a voice, and everybody's going to use it in a different way. Some people may want to go out there and argue with people on Fox News and do Instagram and Twitter and all that stuff. Some people, there was a young lady at the leadership dinner the other night. She was an educator, and that's how she uses her voice, and that's how she uses her platform. And that's what I want to empower you all to do, because none of us is promised tomorrow. I learned that lesson very young, and it drives me every single day, and I want to impart that to all of you. So now let's talk about symbolism. And let's talk about all of your smiling, USA-loving faces at the White House yesterday. And let's talk about the symbolism of that moment, the symbolism of young Black Americans saying, no more will I be bullied. No more will I not stand up for what I believe in. And being addressed by the President of the United States, who loves seeing every single one of you, loves seeing your faces, loves talking to you. And that symbolism is so powerful that the media that we have that is controlled by the left will do everything in their power to hide it. They will do everything in their power to make every single person in this room, including myself, seem like we are anomalies. That either they ignore us and pretend that we don't exist, or they work overtime to try to discredit us, or they work overtime to try to sow discord in this movement of all of these people that you see, like Angela King, like Isaiah, like King Face, like Bryson, like all of these people who are aligned together. Now, we may think differently on a couple of different things, but we know what this is all about, and we're aligned together, and they will do everything in the world to sow discord, not only between the bold names, but between everybody that comes up under. I have seen it with my own two eyes and heard it with my own two ears over the past 72 hours. The enemy will do whatever he can to separate people. And we have to talk about the culture. And y'all got a crash course in the culture right before I came up. And it's so important, because when we look at the things that we're seeing, they don't really reflect our values anymore. And I'm not even talking about the baby mama and the love and hip hop stuff. I'm talking about people that are supposed to be quote unquote leaders in our community that preach nothing but victimhood. They preach to us nothing but I can't. If there are two words in the English language that I despise more than I can't, I don't know what they are. I hate hearing I can't. I hate somebody telling me that I can't, because when somebody tells me that I can, I'm going to show them that I will, and then I do. All right? And there are so many messages that get out to us, and they say, I can't because I'm Black, and I can't because I'm this, and I can't because I went to a bad school, and I can't do this. It drives me nuts. Yes. And I know that there is nobody in this room that can't do an MF thing in this world. And I had to use the abbreviation because you know what I'm saying, all right? It's hard to be PG-13 when y'all got me going. Lord, let me tell you. And I'm gonna wrap it up with one more story. And then I wanna talk to you guys because I really wanna hear your questions and I really wanna have time to talk to each and every one of you. And I'm gonna do a meet and greet out here right afterwards. And if you want a selfie or take a picture or whatever, every single person in this room, I swear to you that I wanna meet you all because you have no idea how inspirational it is for even the bold names to be in this space right now with all of you. And the final story I'm gonna tell you is that a year and a half ago, and I always use this in quotes, I never like to say I was nobody because everybody's somebody, but in the grand scheme of things, you're quote unquote nobody. And I was thinking to myself, I was visiting my best friend in Las Vegas, and I was producing at a time and for an unnamed entity, because I've worked for every digital media place, I've worked for whatever, you name it, and I will not name this place, but I was producing for them. And I talked to one of the executives, and I said, you know what? I'm a conservative, and this has been happening over the past couple of years, and I finally feel kind of like emboldened to be public about this because I was working kind of for these liberal outlets, and I felt like I couldn't be myself, and I was always had to spin things to the left, and I realized that I can't make the impact in this world that I want to make via being a producer or being a writer. Like I have to go out and do, and the only way I can go out and do is to do it via social media, because the best thing about living in 2019 right now is that this phone right here, this is Angela's phone, but this phone, somebody's phone, probably Angela's. But everything that you want to do in your life, as I give back, I knew it was somebody's phone, but that was real smooth, right? It was smooth. So what I have to say is that everything that you want to do in your life is right there in the palm of your hand, baby. Right there in the palm of your hand, and you can make something out of nothing with that. A year and a half ago, there was 0 following on social media. There was 0 Twitter, 0 Instagram, 0 Facebook, 0 trips to the White House, 0 nothing. And I made the decision to come out and do this because I had been telling myself, even though I tell you guys that you can, and I hate I can't, I had been telling myself that I couldn't for so many years. I had been waiting for permission. And if I have to tell you anything, it is that thing that you have in your hands that you're texting with and doing whatever means that you don't have to wait for permission from nobody. You can do it yourself. And that's what I decided to do. And this man that is a very high-level executive at an unnamed media company told me that, I said, look, man, I got this idea. I'm a conservative, and this has been happening, and I'm angry about the illegal immigration, and I'm angry about the Democrats because I'm tired of all this. You know, I know I'm black and I'm gay, and I know that people may not be into this, but I think I'm going to come out as a conservative because I think that America's ready for it, and I think that the country's ready for it, and I think I should just do this. And I'm in his office, and I'm so excited, and he's like, nah. I'm like, I was like, what? Oh, no. Oh, no, they're not ready for this. No, you need to go be a reporter in North Dakota somewhere, and you need to start out and you need to work yourself up. And let me tell you something, if I listened to every person in the world that told me that I couldn't do something, I would have never left Akron, Ohio. And I don't want either of you guys to do this as well. And I saw this person in New York City, and he came up to me and he was like, man, I've been seeing you everywhere nowadays. Like I've seen you on these other networks, I've seen you here, I've seen you there. He said, man, I guess not listening to me was the best decision you ever made. And I was like, you damn right. I was like, you damn right. Not listening to you telling me that I can't do something that's the best decision that I ever made, because I always knew that I could do it myself. And I don't even know why I asked your permission in the first place. Because I had already made the decision in my mind to do it. So And wrapping this up, what I don't want to hear is I can't. I don't want to hear I can't because I'm black. I can't because I'm gay. I can't because I'm poor. I can't because I'm working class. I can't because I'm lower middle class. I can't because none of my family ever went to college. I can't because of this. I can't because of that. I want to hear I can because I'm black. I can because I'm brilliant. I can because I was lucky and blessed and privileged enough to be born right here in the United States of America, where you can do anything that you want to do. And if you don't believe it, and if you ever doubt it, look to all of the people that you have managed to meet over the past couple of days, and look to yourself, and look to where you were at yesterday. And if you ever think that you can't do something, remember that. Remember all of these people, and remember every single person that you saw up here on this stage this weekend. And I thank you all. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Every single city you mention me, yeah, they know now. I'm rich as cop the Bentley truck.
Right. Do we got questions? Oh, yes, yes. Okay. Do we have a microphone, or what are we going to do here? Go to him. He was causing trouble earlier. I saw the stream. What's up?
All right, to be brutally honest.
Hey, I got to hear him, guys.
Okay, so to be brutally honest, I feel that you practice identity politics. Yesterday at the White House, I heard you say gays for Trump multiple times.
Yeah.
You identify as America's favorite gay, black, veteran, Republican.
Yeah.
My question to you is, why is it relevant who a voter is going to bed with?
Okay. So, and I get this question, and that's a good question. I get it a lot, and I will address it here. So, a lot of people give me kind of like the grief, because a lot of people like to ascribe to me like, oh, well, you guys say that you hate identity politics. So a lot of people try to ascribe to Rob Smith what they have heard from other conservatives. And I say, you don't ascribe it to Rob Smith unless you've heard Rob Smith say it, first of all. And second of all, I engage in a form of identity politics so that people don't have to engage in identity politics in the future. So when I say that I'm America's favorite black, gay, veteran Republican, haha, it's a joke, but that is letting other people out there that are like me know, whether they're black or whether they're gay or whether they're black and gay or vote, that, hey, maybe this doesn't matter. Maybe I should really think with my brain and not all this. So me playing identity politics right now, and that is a very legitimate complaint, but I do it so that one day in the future, in a decade, we don't have to, and we can start talking about the issues. And what people don't realize right now, and why America is struggling and why we've got this culture war going on, is that we don't have a national identity as Americans. And we have to get past this identity politics stuff to get to the good stuff about America. And that is what I'm doing. So that's how I'm going to answer my question. All right? Bars.
Hi,
Hey.
My name is Kyra Foster. I'm a freshman at University of Connecticut.
Yeah.
First, I just want to say that I think you're awesome, and
Thank you.
I think I'm speaking on behalf of everyone that we're very appreciative for you advocating our values and just doing all you are for the black community.
Thank you. Thank you.
And so I'm kind of seeking advice on something. So
Sure.
I'm very passionate about my conservative values,
Yes.
but have been reluctant to speak out on them over fear of like burning bridges with people who have different values or just facing conflict.
Yeah.
And after this conference, I definitely feel the inspiration to start speaking out.
I'm glad, yes.
And I just want to know what advice you have for someone who doesn't like conflict very much and can be shy at times. Like how, what's the best way to go about speaking out on these issues? Yeah.
So, what's that? Yeah, the thing about it is that, and I can't tell you, I'm really trying to, okay, I think that works. Because I'm really trying, I'm like really, really hot. So I'm gonna take this off. So what I'm gonna tell you is that you can't be afraid and you can't pretend as if, where'd she go? Oh, I was just like, so like trying to get this off. But if you're gonna be afraid of backlash, don't do it. If you're not prepared for the backlash, don't do it. If you're not prepared to lose all your friends, don't do it. If you're not prepared to get backlash from friends, family, people that you've known for years, do not do it. Do not do it. I'm telling you. Because I learned this lesson the hard way over a year and a half. I had brunch with my fraternity brother today. I've known that man for a long time. And there has been strife in my life with people that know my heart, from people that know me, that have ideas or some sort of opinions on what I'm doing. So if you're not ready to take that on, and this is not pressure, you know what I mean? This is saying legitimately, if you are not legitimately ready to take that on, do not do it. And there will be a point in your life where you feel strong and confident enough to take it on, and that's when you'll know. All right, absolutely.
Last question.
Oh, we're running out of time? So when we have the meet and greet, which we'll have right now, I'll try as hard as I can to have some short and quick answers to everybody. So I'll be right out there. So last question.
She gave the mic to me. Thank you. First, I just wanted to say thank you for your service.
Absolutely.
And I know.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
I know that you and a lot of people have been talking about like school choice, and I mean, I'm not against it, but I just had a question. So let's say that like, and this is hypothetical, but let's say that like a majority of the parents in the city of Chicago wanted to send their kids to like this one school, and how would we deal with like the school being overcrowded? Because you can't.
I mean, well, so I don't generally like to work in hypotheticals. I generally like to work in reality, and that's not a read, like I'm just saying. But I think that in your situation, the thing about overcrowding with charter schools is that the reason why a charter school is a charter school and the reason why they are so successful is that they cut the class sizes, right? So one of the things that helps students be successful, what people don't realize is that you don't pump billions of dollars more into failing schools in the hopes that they're going to become successful. Exactly. What you do is you limit class sizes, you get better teachers, and you get better teachers and better administrators to run these things. And so that's what the charter schools are doing. And that is not an entirely fair system either. And that is a system that needs to be worked on. But I'm telling you, that system is a whole lot better than continuing to pump billions of dollars into failing public schools that are doing nothing but indoctrinating our kids. They're literally teaching the Black Lives Matter curriculum in elementary school nowadays. And that is a real story, right? And so this is what our tax dollars are going to. And so they go to this indoctrination in public schools, and then they go to college and they just keep on getting indoctrinated. And my issue with this, and I don't want to go on a rant about education, but my issue about this is that you have these people coming out, they do not have any real skills, okay? Because like, look, I'm sorry, we love our people and we love our history. If you have a PhD in whatever, that's not necessarily gonna mean that you're gonna make money. That's not necessarily gonna mean that you're going to survive in this capitalist society. And we're pushing a lot of people that are, number one, not being educated in our public schools, number two, far behind by the time they get to undergrad, and then they're graduating with tens of thousands of dollars in student loan debt, and they're being behind. So that's the charter school answer. All right, I'm getting a hook here. Y'all come right back around, they'll direct you. I'm gonna do a meet and greet right now. I thank you all so much. Thank you.